My uncle and my dad used to tell me, yeah, there's three types of people. Those that make things happen, those that watch things happening, and those that say, well, what happened?
Real Money is a platform highlighting black businesses and the minds behind them. The black community spends upwards of £300 billion per year in the UK. Less than 5% of that is kept within the black community. Just imagine if some of that money was used to provide infrastructure and opportunities for our people. We had the honour of meeting up with our fellow king Basil Palmer, the owner and CEO of Pempamsie health and beauty shops around London, and his restaurant chain Eat of Eden in Brixton. Basil?
Okay,
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you, my brother. I'm gonna be just literally 2 seconds. Raised in London. I'm from South London, yeah. And I literally, from so high, just been a hustler, a businessman. You know how it goes as a youth, yeah. So, in my inspiration was my old man, yeah. So basically, my dad was a man that taught you how to get on in life, you know, not all about education, but about respect, manners, and having a focus, having a dream, yeah. As a youngster, my parents were in Jamaica, yeah, I was here. But one thing that my dad inspired me to do, and one thing he bred into me was like, always like, make sure you own your own house. Make sure you own your own house, because no one else can tell you to get out when it's your place, yeah? So I started out, I bought my first house when I was 18, yeah? Back in the day, and this was in the early 80s. Yeah, 27,000, yeah. Same house now is like 400 plus 450. Imagine back in the day you could buy houses, you could do stuff without all the rigmarole that you got now. So pretty much as a youth coming up, at my teenage years, I was focused on trying to build something for myself. So by the time I was 21, I was on my third yard. You get me? So that was like my foundation, yeah. I was also lucky I had a job working for a company, and I had a job working for a sales company. I started out as a salesman, and basically the guy that owned the company was really, he just took to me, yeah. So in the absence of my dad, he became like a mentor type thing, yeah. White guy became a mentor. He taught me a lot. Like, this guy was like a proper businessman, worth millions, and the man more or less took me under his wing. And he took me under his wing for about 26, 27 years, yeah. So from being a teenager up into up to the age of about 40, yeah. This guy was like my mentor. So what he did was he made sure that I went college. I went Westminster Uni. I studied business. I'd done for 3 years. He made me a director of his company. Eventually, this is after a few years. And I just did there, and I grew within that organization, you know, from a salesman to a branch manager to area manager to a commercial manager. I had a stint doing purchasing, I had a stint doing sales. So basically I became like a rounded professional, yeah, understanding the basics, the principles of how to be successful. And what happened was, even though I was with him, and even though it was a big company, like when I left them, They had 88 outlets, turning over 100 and odd million a year. And I was good, to tell you the truth, I was good there. My office was at my house. Imagine in my 30s, my office was at my house. I was area manager, so I was just basically made my own timetable. My company car was Audi Quattro Turbo, like Audi, nice car, decent money, 6 figures, yeah? But I always knew that there was something missing as an individual. Like, every so often, no matter how nice your boss might be, you get to a point where he's gonna let you know who's boss, you understand? So even though there was never a risk that he's gonna sack me or anything, but certain times he will just flex his muscles. You could have a bad day, it could be anything. So in the back of my head, I always knew that, you know what, at some point I gotta just do my own thing. I gotta just work for myself 100%, yeah? So what happened, around about 92, this is before, while I was still working for him, I decided that I would set my own shit up, yeah? So at the time, it's 92, Brixton, Choice FM, down on Acre Lane, you know, there was a whole heap of different like black businesses like that was here. Some of them had been here. This was like first generation black immigrants that set up their business. And believe it or not, yeah, there was, at that time, for black events, you couldn't pay by credit card. You couldn't buy a ticket to pay by credit card. So Brixton Academy, and this I never forget, I had an office in Brixton, so I was just doing little bits and pieces, trying to figure out what am I going to do. So, I've got an office, but I'm not really doing that much in the office, but I'm strategizing. Then I saw an opportunity that if the organizations such as Brixton Academy, lots of other organizations didn't allow you to buy a ticket for an event that was a black event by credit card, you had to pay by cash. So I approached them just off the bat and said to them, look, I've got a company, ticket company, and I wanna, this time I don't know nothing about tickets, I said, I wanna be your box office for black events, and I wanna sell tickets. So you had people like Ticketmaster, Star Green tickets. This is before online tickets, so you couldn't really buy online before internet wasn't that big. And I never forget the first concert was Wu-Tang Clan, yeah, Brixton Academy. So they called me and said, right, we're gonna try you with this one. Wu-Tang Clan's coming. Boom. The tickets were like £10 or something, yeah, £8 or £10. So they said, obviously you're gonna take the tickets, sell them, and charge a booking fee. So they gave me 200 tickets. Yeah, the show went on sale in one day. I sold 200 tickets. I was charging like £2 booking fee. Yeah, people were just ordering, boom, boom, paying packaging, posting, and I was just doing it, just like me in the phone. My phone just rang off the hook. Yeah, I got someone in to help me. Went back to them. I said, oh, my tickets are gone. First day, they said, all right, here's 300 tickets. Took him back to the shop. Phone was just ringing off the hook, yeah? Like within like 3 days, 4 days, 300 tickets gone. Remember, Brixton Academy had like 5,000 tickets. I ended up selling, cut a long story, I ended up selling like 2,000 tickets. And what I realized that the opportunity was there. My booking fee started at £2, I ended up at £4. So as I'd done the first 500, I was like, wait a minute, I added an extra pound, yeah? I did an extra pound. So when I thought about it, like I sold like 2,000 tickets, I made a portion of money.
From word of mouth, how was people finding out?
No, because they were advertising it on Brixton Academy, or it was up above, or it was in the newspaper, Wu-Tang Clan's coming. The tickets sold out, like even people went to Brixton Academy, paid cash, or I had some, they sold most of them, I sold a lot of them. I was the only ticket outlet that was offering people to pay by credit card. I made like, say I made, I don't know, 4 grand, 5 grand. It was a whole heap of money what I made, yeah, 6 grand. And that's what, and the rest was history. I was like, So I set up this business, Ticket Links. I approached Choice FM, and I respected Choice FM. They basically said, right, you can become like our credit card hotline, and they were doing lots of events at the time. So basically from the time Choice had me down, Brixton Academy had me down, everybody else, it was just history. Everybody just started. The next thing I know, one minute I'm just starting out. The next minute I got staff, and I've got like 100 tickets for sale. Yeah, and so, but it was born out of basically just trying to do more than what I was doing, even though I had a good job, even though I was in a good corporate sort of network.
I was going to say, you basically just saw an opportunity, so a gap in the market.
Yeah, I just went for it. I just went for it.
Yeah.
I can do it. You know how the thing goes. I can do it. So basically, I never forget, 35 Eurolink. I was there for 7 years, and every Saturday, Friday, Saturday, especially Christmas time, there was a queue out of my office. People coming. So all of the promoters, martial arts, Hammersmith, and I think Brixton Academy, they had other sister venues. I started to get their tickets, plus then the black promoters was bringing their tickets. So I just started selling tickets. So therefore my business was called Ticket Links. So I just adopted the name Basil Links, yeah? So from there, I'd doing it for a certain amount of time, but one of the things I realized, even though like events are like, it's like a build-up to the event. There's a madness like the day before the event, the day of the event, everybody's excited, and then the day after the event, everything just goes down on the low. So what would happen is sometimes before certain events, I would have like part-time people in the office, like casual people. It would be madness, and then the day after a big event, so say it was Easter, there's lots of things at Easter, lots of things at Valentine's, lots of things at Christmas, but then come the 1st of January, everything drops down again. And I just wanted to have something more continuous, consistent than just like peaks and troughs. So that's what I said, you know what, let me go on the high street. And that's when I got the place at Brixton Hill. That was like 99. Yeah, so from 92 to 99 I was in the Eurolink.
What business was that one?
That was what is where you just came from, which is Pempamsie.
Have you got a tongue scraper?
Tongue scraper, no, sweetheart.
Oh, I can't find it anywhere.
But you know what? You don't need a tongue scraper. You can use your toothbrush. I use mine. Just,
I know.
yeah, just brush it.
Alright. Okay.
It wasn't called Pempamsie, it was still called Links at the time. So I continued with my 9 to 5, continued every so often to buy a house here and pick up another one. So I was always into real estate by this time now. I'm a landlord, got my own little business. I'm in my 30s, everything's going well. Then, as I said, I just felt like I needed to be my own boss. And I looked at my whole kind of structure and I thought, you can survive without the security of a 9 to 5. So,
I was going to ask as well, because that leads nicely into Pempamsie.
yeah.
So what made you go from the ticket company to Pempamsie? Because it's a change, but it was a kind of metamorphosis. It didn't just happen like the way you see Pempamsie now. What happened was change the concept and make it into more like a cooperative. So she kind of done some research, and we gathered about 6 people
Yeah, so the sister, her name was Ewana, yeah, and she used to do jewelry. So she was one doing jewelry. There was someone else doing clothes. There was someone else doing some body products. Someone else doing, I can't remember what the other person was doing. Yeah, like maybe I was doing books. Yeah. So there was a collective. So the concept was everybody had to work like a number of days, like say 2 days a week. So that there's 5 of you. Everybody had to work 2 days a week, but nobody got paid for working. But everybody had a space in the shop, and then whatever they sold, they made money. So when you was there on your day, you had to sell whatever was in the shop, like other people's stuff as well as your stuff. So basically we had no staffing costs, but everybody paid me like a rent, because it was my shop, like say £50 a month. It was something like £50 a month, or it wasn't like no big money, but what it basically meant was that I had my own products in the shop. I never had to pay no staff. Everybody was working, selling their thing, selling my thing. I was getting a little rent. The shop was paying for itself, and I was selling my stuff. It was like a win-win situation.
Beneficial for everyone.
For everyone. But what happened, unfortunately, you know, sometimes my granny used to say too much ants don't dig good hole, yeah? Because too much cooks spoil the broth. So eventually there was this person fell out with that person fell out with this person, then there was 5, well started with 6, then there was 5, then there was 4, then there was 3, then there was 2, then eventually there was 1. And this took about 5-6 years. You know, people came, people went, but eventually there was 1 person. And at that point it was opportune for me to just think I had enough of working for someone else. So I basically resigned from my job. It was an opportunity that I had to resign because they wanted me to move to work in the Midlands. And I was like, no, I'm not interested. Because at the time I was a regional manager by then. So I said, I'm not interested. So they said, well, really, we're not really giving you a choice, you know, like your role has become obsolete. So this is the new role. It was actually a senior role, executive role, but it's based in Birmingham. And it was working from Birmingham going north. But I lived in London, you know what I mean? I just didn't want to do it. So from the moment I told them I didn't want to do it, they basically said, well, your role's redundant. You do realize if you say you don't want to do it, that you're not going to have a role, so we're going to have to make you redundant. I said, well, fine. So because of my contract, I was on garden leave. Basically, there and then they say, right, you're not allowed to speak to anyone, you go home, you're not allowed to work for anyone, you're not allowed to contact anyone at work. And they sent me home on full wages for 3 months until they come up with my redundancy package. So in fact, it took them 6 months. So I basically got paid for 6 months, full wages.
And just to confirm, that's garden leave.
Garden leave it was called, yeah. I got paid. Eventually, I got a year's salary because they paid me for 6 months, and then my settlement was 6 months, yeah. So literally, they paid me like 100 bags, yeah, to stay at home for a year. And in that time, I went straight, like from the day after my garden leave, I went into Pempamsie, yeah? So that was about 11 years ago, roughly, about 11 years ago, 12 years ago. So basically, what I did, I utilized all the skills, all the training that I'd learned working for a corporate over 30 years, yeah? I'm in my mid-50s now, yeah? So from 18 right the way up to 41, 42, yeah? I literally worked for an organization. They'd put me through college, they'd given me all these different roles. I knew about stock, I knew about margins, I knew about sales, I knew about purchasing, I knew about relationship building. So basically I had the ingredients, yeah? And because I'd been smart the property that I'd bought over the years for 20 grand, 60 grand, 70 grand, 90 grand was all up and all rented. So I had time and I had resource and I had experience. And what happened was, in the first year, at the time, Pempamsie was doing about, 50, 60 grand a year. In the first year I went in there, while I was on garden leave, I trebled the turnover, yeah? And all I did was, I thought about, I got a spot on the high street, where's the gap in the market? And then...
So it's like the same thing you did
with the tickets, yeah, exactly. And I realized that as a community, we have some issues in terms of our health. And it's, even in today with COVID, black people are disproportionately getting affected because of the high blood pressure, the diabetes, the high cholesterol, which they claim contributes towards COVID having an adverse effect detrimentally on black people. But even without COVID at the time, I'm like, we seem to have this same health issues all the time. And really and truly, even cancer, prostate cancer, fibroids, there's so many things that affect us as a community. So I went to work trying to immerse myself in that world. Now, I come from a sales background, but I was into selling. I was in the auto industry, so I was selling spare parts and services into garages and stuff. So I had to retrain myself to know about, health.
But that's transferable skills there as well.
Yeah, it's transferable skills, understanding how to be a good salesperson. So because I was a sales manager and a regional manager, I understand that the secret of sustainable sales, is first of all to know your product. So if I don't know anything about, and whatever you're selling, whether it be shoes, whether it be clothes, whether it be watches, if you're an expert in watches, that's, people will recognize that value, and people that want to buy watches will seek you out if they're aware of you, because they're going to get a specialist service. Even if it's shoes, if there's a difference between someone standing around in a shoe shop and do you want a pair of trainers? Yeah, I'll get them for you and give them to you to try on. Then if you go to certain shoe shop, where the first thing they're going to do, before I can even look, I need to measure your feet, and then they measure your feet so they know exactly what size, and then they can have a discussion about the material that makes the sole, whether it be leather, or the upper, whether that be leather, the cushioning, the sidewall. They can tell you the ins and outs of shoes. Then that straight away gives them an advantage. And you will know, what, anytime I'm buying shoes, I want to speak to that guy because he knows about his shoes. And that's what I learned from years of being a salesperson. So understanding your product. So I had to literally go back to the beginning and learn about health and well-being. So I did courses, I read books, I just studied, and I listened to people that came in. And I started with a small selection of products, and then gradually built it up where today we've got over 4,000 products in stock. So other than learning about the product, the other side to being sustainable as a salesperson is that you have to know about your customer. So obviously I targeted the business at my community. I understood, because I had friends and uncles and aunties and cousins that were suffering from the same illnesses of diabetes and high blood pressure that I wanted to meet the needs of those people. So I understood the market. I felt like they wasn't being catered for. I got to understand the actual products and the features and the benefits, and why would you use this product, or what would you do, or how would you do it. And so I went about building a brand, which is Pempamsie, which basically the business just kept on doubling year on year, just kept on getting more and more.
So did you see building the brand made a big difference, would you say that, in terms of direction? And
Yeah, because at the end of the day, I'm a firm believer that if you believe in what you're doing and you do your homework as a professional, yeah, that as long as you've done your homework right, people are going to soon start to recognize your brand. It's like your brand takes on its own identity. So it's not even about me. It's about the brand. It's about what we stand for. And then as the business grows and you attract other people into the business, I kind of came up with a principle or a concept that I've used to develop the business. Yeah, and what I really realized is that I'm good financially. I would regard myself as financially free. So what I decided to do was identify the talent within my team and to then replicate what I've done, teach them how to do it. You get me? So it started with, and not everybody, like, I've come across people, some people think that, you know, they're only there for the money. They don't recognize the opportunity. They're only there, they think that they know it all, you can't even speak to them. So I'm saying, but you know what, I've got like 30 years experience in this thing. I know about sales, I know about business, I know about how to be successful, but you know, if you don't want to listen, God bless you, yeah? But I started off, there was a young lady, Erica, she started working for me. She must have been about 21, yeah? But literally, it's like we developed such a relationship. Like if I say, Erica, listen to me, this is what you need to do. She's like, okay. And just, she saw what I was dealing with and decided that, you know what, yeah, this is me. I want to do this. And she was ambitious. She got capability, but the most important thing, she was coachable. So I decided, right, I'm going to train you, yeah? And then eventually you're going to own your own business. Then there was another young lady, Michelle, again, working with me. She worked with me for about 6 years. Till eventually she was like, you know, I want to have my own shop. So obviously they come, they see that I'm doing stuff. There's a potential there to make a living. So my kind of business model is like, you can only be one place at one time, yeah? And you're only one person. And I don't want to be stressed out. Like people say to me, "Oh, you're relaxed, man." I'm like, yeah, I'm relaxed. How can you be relaxed when you got X amount of shops and X amount? Because I'm not the only one that's working for the business. As a matter of fact, Eat of Eden, Pempamsie, we employ now circa 150 people. You understand? So what happened is, my model is that if you've done your, almost like your apprenticeship, you could go out in partnership, yeah, and I will support you, I will contribute financially. So I'm out and out making you a business partner, a business owner. So now you're creating your own legacy and you're creating your own business, albeit in partnership with me. So you're extending the brand, you're creating your own team, and then within your team now, you're identifying potential that you can replicate what has happened to you. That's the legacy that I would like to leave, basically. So,
would you call that generational wealth?
It's not so. It is. It will lead to generational wealth. It will lead to generational wealth. But what I would call it is about capacity building within the community. Because sometimes you find with some people, like, yeah, something happens, yeah, and they got a business and they got success, but they just want to like hold on to it for themselves, and they want to have the one-upmanship on other people. Whereas I'm thinking, learning from a lot of other people that's done stuff in the past. What happens is that we can build these brand organizations, but it's all orientated around one person. And when that person goes, the whole thing just collapses because there's no other stakeholders with real ownership of that organization to continue things after. So it might sound crazy, yeah, but I will say to my team, yeah, if I drop down dead tomorrow, I want the shop to be open the same way. Even if you're going to say, oh, we're going to close early, yeah, because Basil's dead, fair enough. But at the end of the day, I'm just one man. It's not about me anymore. Because you got kids to feed and you got a husband, you got bills to pay. So if you're my business partner in Lewisham, I might be the majority owner, but you've got a substantial share. You need to make sure that business opens up. That's what I would want, yeah? Because I don't want it to collapse because I'm not here. And as a matter of fact, I hardly go there. I go there from time to time. Most of what I can do online. I can do by looking at numbers. I've got a finance director now that looks at the numbers for me. I can look at the bank account. I can look at the CCTV. I can do whatever, yeah, to be in touch, yeah, without necessarily being there. So we started out with Lewisham, round that way, the site.
So I want to ask something as well, because I like the way it's flowing. But we'll get to Eat a Vegan.
Yeah.
It's a bit more. So how did you, say for instance, Pempamsie, so you got a clear idea, you got your brand together.
Yeah.
How did you like source your materials?
That's easy. You know, there's so much talent in our community, and there's so many people that have got great products, but they don't have no route to market. So as you start to establish yourself and people take you seriously, so you're open 7 days a week and you've been open for a couple of years, and they know that, you know, you're promoting yourself, you're there, you're consistent, yeah, you're trustworthy, they leave their goods, they get paid, yeah. So you develop that relationship with your supply chain, and then because I'm a trained business development manager, I end up developing my supply chain, yeah. So in other words, you come to me with one product, shea butter. I got shea butter, like a lot of people do shea butter, and I'm like, okay, why don't you do some oils? Because, you know, people come in and ask me for oils all the time, and I don't have this. So as an experienced salesman, like, I understand the secret of sales. So you could do two things. You could either create your own range and then present it to people and hope that they like it. But what works, and what's worked for me very successfully, is to go to your customer or your potential customer and say, what do you need? I'm a resource. I'll source it, I'll make it, I'll create it. You just tell me what you need within what price range. So in terms of me acting as almost like a business development manager, so I got companies that started off selling me one product, but as I identify the gaps in the market for the things that I need, I say to them, no, go away and research that product, then that product. So I started out by buying, you know, spending £200 a month. And after 3-4 years, I'm spending £2,000 a month. So what that's doing is developing them, it's developing me. And in the sense of the name Pempamsie, which is partnership, you know, collective work, yeah? It's a win-win. So we're in partnership. We're not just in partnership with our customers, we're in partnership with our supply chain, yeah? And it's a win-win. And in order for a relationship to be sustainable, it has to be win-win. Because if I squeeze them too hard and try and get the price down too low, at some point they're gonna say, what the hell am I doing this for? And if they sell it to me too expensive and I can't sell it, I'm gonna stop buying it, yeah? So they have to make money, I recognize that. And there's times, believe it or not, where people come in and they're underselling, undervaluing their own product. And I say to them, you know what? You're selling it to me for £2. I can sell it for £10. I work off of 40%, 45% gross margin. Here what? Up your price. Because otherwise, I know you ain't gonna make no money at this. And I want you to make money. So instead of selling it to me for £2, sell it to me for £4, and I'll still sell it for 10. I understand the market. And now that extra £2, that's your profit, straight profit. So having those type of conversations builds that rapport and relationship with your supply chain. And then people tell people, and then you got lots of other generic brands. So we started out mostly dealing with black suppliers, and it was a concept of, you know, we're giving you a route to market. Now, then we realized that actually our client base is becoming more and more cosmopolitan. So where there's a misconception that, say, Asian people don't buy from black people, I can tell you that is not true. because probably 10% of my customers are Asian. I'm
What
talking.
do you think plays a big part to that? Like, is it your customer service? Is it the quality of products?
It's like meeting their needs. Everybody goes somewhere because they want their needs met. Well, you know, it's a difference that you want to buy a TV, yeah? You don't just want a TV, you want a TV for a particular reason. So whether it's for your child, in your child's bedroom, that will determine the size. That might determine the type of TV. It might be in a big living room, like when you got your in-house cinema. You know, you might be someone that wants it totally interactive, or you might just want something for your kitchen. It depends on what your needs are. So what we focus on is understanding the needs, and I know a lot about the needs of even within the Asian community, because they're just like we've got things within our community that affect us health-wise. There's things specific to the Asian community. You understand? So what I've learned is that, you see, when you get one customer that might come in and you treat that customer like a VIP, you take care of their needs, that customer is going to tell somebody else. They're going to tell someone else. And what I've found with the Asian community, you serve one person, you solve that problem, they come back with their mum, their dad, their brother, his wife, the granny, the picnic, everybody comes in one time, and then everybody's buying. They come at literally like 8, 9 of them will come one time. And then one of them will bring someone else. The next thing you know, that's how you build it up, the rapport, yeah? And not only that, you know, Brixton was a different Brixton in the 80s when I was in Brixton as a youth. Now Brixton's been gentrified. Now a good percentage of our customers are European. Yeah, like literally like 40%. Yeah.
That's one thing I wanted to ask though as well, is has the gentrification of Brixton affected business?
Yeah.
How has it? Yeah.
It's affected me positively.
Yeah.
Because, you know, that's a demographic that's got money. So they'll come in and see what they want to buy. They buy it. They don't ask for discount. They just come in. Well, how much is that? £120. Thank you. Boom. You know, I've introduced products specifically because they come and they'll ask for it. So now we're doing cleaning products, and we're doing, you know, Dr. Bonner's, and we're doing some old brands, yeah, that everybody likes, but specifically there's a contingent within my business, my customer base, that come in and they will pick up, you know, body washes for 20 odd pounds. They'll pick up like 4, you know, Neil's Yard and stuff like that. Deodorants for like £10. They'll just pick them up and just buy them 3, 4 at a time. So it's really, and one of the things that we have done, we are unapologetically a black run, black owned business. You come into my shop, you'll just see, you know, you'll be immersed in our culture. So whether it be masks or books or pictures or images or whatever, yeah? But, so you don't have to compromise your culture, you don't have to compromise your integrity, but yet you go there on any given day and you'll see all different colors, all different nationalities coming in. But the most important thing is that you have their product, you understand about the product, you know and you respect and have a level of service quality, and you're really focused on understanding their needs and meeting their needs. So if I can't supply something that's going to actually meet your needs, whether it's, you know, a toothpaste or a shampoo, you might have inflammation of the gums, or you might have, you know, dry scalp or dry skin. If I don't have what's going to solve your problem, I'm not going to sell you something just for the sake of making a sale. There's an integrity, and I try to kind of embed that within everybody that's within the business. Yeah. So basically what's happened now, from one shop has come 2 shop, has come 3 shop, has come 4 shop. Now we also then moved into, for the last 2 years, we've got a treatment room, which is also in Brixton, where we do colonic irrigation, we do massage, we do different things. You understand? It's an extension, yeah? And I'm currently working on at least another 3 shops, yeah? So Harleston, Tottenham, all Pempamsie. Well, the whole Pempamsie and Eat of Eden thing came about literally about 4 years ago, and this is where it started, the Eat of Eden, where I had a cousin of mine and his associate, which is almost like family as well, it's like family, and they had this business, and it was called Lime. And they'd had it for a couple of years. My cousin wasn't really a part of it, but his people was. But they were all trying to make it work. And they kind of came to me 4 years ago and said, Baz, we want you to join in and help us to make it work because it's not really working. So I looked at what it was, and they used to sell coffee and patties and cakes and stuff. And I was like, as a person that I'm not really into the meat, so I've been a vegetarian for on and off for most of my life. Yeah.
Is there a reason why?
I just never really been like a big time meat person, and I'm lactose intolerant, so I've never been a dairy person. I've never been, I just always tried to be healthy. Like throughout my whole life, I've always trained, done sports, done boxing and training and, kickboxing and all sorts. So I've just never been a person that's been into eating meat. Yeah. So I literally came, looked at the place and said to them, you know what? Yeah, I'm interested, but there's a real gap in the market. Again, it's about understanding the terrain for vegan food. And I think what's gonna give us a USP around all the other places, like the chicken shop next door, yeah, fish wings and things, and they do quite well. But let's go the opposite. Let's just go vegan, because there must be people out there like me that is looking for an alternative. So, we started, changed the name, opened it up. That was about 4 years ago. And, I'm sure the first year we done like £500,000 in the first year. So really and truly, we were overwhelmed by the success and the demand and the way that it was being embraced by everybody, like vegans, period. Yeah.
Did you say like in the past, because it seems like a lot of other people have jumped on the vegan train,
which is good. But the chains got holy for space, man. It's all good. I openly tell people, don't open a jerk shop, man. Open a vegan shop, because it's the fastest growing sector of the food industry. Yeah, the restaurant business. It's healthier, yeah, and it's sustainable, and I think it's the future.
Is it cheaper?
No. Hell no. No. Like, if you want good quality materials, like we buy our produce from a farm in Reading, a black-owned farm in Reading. When we buy our pumpkin and our sweet potato, they don't grow everything there, but they do grow a lot of it there. They grow stuff in greenhouses, they grow stuff on the farm, they import stuff. We buy stuff from Covent Garden. We buy stuff organic. We go for the best quality that we can. A lot of what's involved from a restaurant perspective in terms of your price is your rent. You see how the size of this shop? Trust me, it's not cheap. It's the wages.
It's like the main street.
It's on the main. The wages are expensive, and you still need people. So whether you're buying chicken and cooking chicken, or whether you're buying veg and cooking veg, it's still expensive. Most of the money that you take goes in covering the cost of wages. You wouldn't even like to know my wages bill a month.
One thing I wanted to ask as well, so say for instance someone has the idea to jump into that market. What's it like with licensing, or like even getting permission to cook food? Like, how does that work?
Well, it's all about, I think that the licensing process is now changing, but historically it's literally been about the type of premises. So if you got an A3 premises, you got a license to cook food. If you get A1 premises, you got a license to heat up food. Yeah? So like Greg's the Bakers, they don't cook food, they heat up food. So it's just an A1, it's a shop, retail, heating up, that's it. You got to cook the food somewhere else. But you still need to be compliant to food hygiene. But if you want to cook food, yeah, then you got to have an actual A3 license, where you've got a license to cook food, and with that comes other health and safety implications. And
speaking, say for instance, like time-wise and that, like going through that process of getting an A3 license.
No, it's not so much you got to get a license, you got to find a premises with a license, because a lot of the councils, they're not issuing new licenses, so therefore the people that have got the licensed premises, the value of the license goes up. So you might have to pay someone 50 bags, 50,000, 60,000, 70,000 to get that goodwill, but what you're really after is the license. And it's hard work, long hours. When we open at 9 or 10 or 11 in the morning, we got to be there from 7. Yeah. When you close at 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock at night, you're still there at midnight because there's always a process of opening and a process of closing. You get me?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Another question, sorry, as well. In regards to finances,
Yeah.
because you know, in our community we spend a lot, we put a lot of money out of our community, we don't put a lot back in.
Yeah.
But one thing I noticed is from a young age, you seem to have quite a bit of money, to be fair, that you had to be responsible with.
Yeah.
So what advice could you give to people or younger people?
Straight. Good question. It's not what you earn. That's not important. Yeah? It's what you do with it that counts. 100. Because I was able to leverage people, my circumstances. You know, when I was 18, when I kind of gloss over the fact that I bought my first house, I had 2 jobs. My day job working for the company, and I worked in McDonald's for 2 years, and I didn't touch that wages. Now, I've known people that have earned a lot more money than me, yeah? But they spent a lot more money than me. You understand? So, unfortunately, there are people in our community that will think that to have lots of jewelry, or, you know, maybe that mindset's changing, but to have a big car or to go out, buy champagne, flossing, wear some £300, £400 shoes, you know, that means something. But in the real life, it don't mean nothing. It means absolutely nothing. So even on a day like today, I could buy whatever clothes I want. I'm not gonna do it because I'm not wasting, yeah? And you never know when you're gonna need to fall back on what you got. And also, as much as I'm part of a group, I'm not taking full responsibility because it's not just me. I've got business partners practically in every business. In fact, I won't open a business without a business partner because I don't want the stress of sitting in that business every day. Even the shop on Brixton Hill, I've sold a percentage of the business to the team that's up there now. Yeah? So that I can sit back and let them get on with it. They're getting paid. Yeah, they're getting paid. They're invested in it as well. You know, and as I said, if I drop out, there's someone there to carry the handle. My family obviously gonna get my share, but they still got their share. Yeah. So about succession planning and making sure that really, as much as I might think that we've achieved, and it might be that some people might say, yeah, you know, you've got half a dozen Eat of Edens, because with Eat of Edens, you know, we got good. Personally, my ambition is to have up to 200 branches over the next 5 years between Eat of Eden and Pempamsie. But worldwide, yeah. But we ain't really gone nowhere yet, bruv. We literally have not. We're just, all right, I sell hair products, and there's no real big black distributors. Most of the people that import hair products into this country are Asian. You understand? Not even packs. People that other people beyond packs, that when you go to their warehouse, it's big like that building over there, fam, on 3-4 stories. Most of them are Asian. Yeah? And that's not just in the UK, that's like globally. So we consume a lot. So don't think that because you got 3-4 shops that, you know, you got a reason to sort of rest on your laurels or think that you've done something. These guys, you know, they're making millions. Even packs making millions. So we turn over a few 100,000 here or a couple million here. That don't mean nothing. It really don't. Not saying you shouldn't celebrate your success when you can. It's still you're moving from zero to where you are. Yeah. But there's so much more that needs to be done.
I think a big part of that is what you said earlier as well, because I think it was a big point when you said about the co-op that you had. And do you think our community doesn't necessarily, it's like we don't have that culture where we come together and share our resources, whereas you look at the Asian community, they're buying bulk.
Do you know what, yeah?
They benefit from economies of scale.
Do you know what it is? Every community has their issues. And they got just as much complications as us. But what happens is you've got a lot of Asians that have got a lot of money. And that's what it takes. Because what I've done, I'm leveraging the resources that I've got available to me and harnessing it against people with energy, time and capability. Yeah. So even though you might see shops going up here, there, blah, 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 I'm harnessing the power of the people, no more different than what the Asian guys are doing. You know, when I go to one of the wholesalers and they say to me, there's 3,000 shops, black hair shops in this country. 3,000. And like 95% of them is owned by Asian. You understand? So if I own a wholesale warehouse, I can set my cousins up, I can set my people up and just say, you know, there's the stock, get the shop, boom. And that's how they're gonna start making money. So even me being around some of them, I've learned that that's how they do it. And that's the reason why I'm opening shops and I'm partnering with people. Yeah. The hard part is that some people will say to me, there's no shortage of them. I got some money to invest. Yeah. If I give it to you, can you open a shop? No. Then you want me to do the work. No, I don't need your money and I don't need a boss. Because at the end of the day, that's what it is. You're sitting at home watching TV and I'm making your money work for you. You understand? I'm saying if you're hungry and you got some money and you got the energy and the capability and the integrity to work in partnership and the discipline, yeah, you might not always get what you want or what you think you want, but what you will get is the benefit of my experience and the support financially and with the contacts. Like I deal with over 150 suppliers, so I already know where the products come from. I already negotiate prices. I already built a structure. So all you're doing is bolting on and adding some more power as a stakeholder in your own independent limited company. Yeah, so that's just an example, and we could literally transfer that template into any type of business as a community, and we will find. But what you need one person who has established something, prepared to bring other people in. And that's where the challenge is, because sometimes you bring people in, they want to take over your own business, or they want to sabotage your business, or they want to run competition. But I'm saying ain't no competition. We're working together. You're eating your food, I'm eating my food, but eventually from that shop you can buy some property or you can open another shop. Yeah. But as far as the brand is concerned, I'm building a brand. So either you can be a stakeholder in the brand and there's benefits to that, or you could just use it as an inspiration and go and do your own thing. And I'll help you same way. Because there's a big market out there, you understand?
I'll say 6 minutes.
What I wanted to say, yeah? The younger self, just as you were starting this journey, so for instance, I think the first business was the ticket. What advice would you give to yourself then?
Well, if I knew myself now,
Yeah.
the only thing I would have said, I realized, yeah, that it's not always easy to recognize opportunity. Yeah? And I've had opportunity because I was around where you could get a mortgage without even providing pay slips. So you just tell them, oh, I earn 60 grand a year, and they'll say, okay, yeah, we'll lend you the money. Seriously, that's what it used to be like back in the day. Yeah, yes, blessed love. Yes, yeah? That's what it used to be like. I could have bought, I own a few properties, I could have owned 10 times more. That would have given me 10 times more leverage to do more things now. Because it wasn't because I couldn't have done it, it was because I probably thought, like a lot of other people, that the opportunity was going to be there forever. And when the opportunity disappeared and the rules changed, it was too late. Yeah? So, you know, my uncle and my dad used to tell me, yeah, there's 3 types of people. Those that make things happen, those that watch things happening, and those that say, well, what happened? It's not about the size of the network, it's about the quality of the people that you meet. And sometimes just that one person that you meet, like this is a network. So just that one person you meet can give you some information or a link or a contact that can make a difference to your life. As well as recognizing opportunity, yeah? Invest in your network, because you're only as strong as your network. You understand? When you need resources, when you need contacts, when you need info, You're only as good as the information that you have access to. And that's why like, my phone rings all day long, and half the time people are asking me, what can I do? Where can I get this? How do I do that? I'm part of their network, and I'm happy for them to leverage me for their benefit, because I do it myself. Yeah? So that's one thing. And I just want to touch, yeah? I believe in having a balanced portfolio. And right now we're in a time where it's the greatest change in wealth, in ownership. I'm talking about cryptocurrency. And I'm encouraging anyone that's watching this video, yeah? Don't let this opportunity pass you by. Invest, be aware of, yeah? Be a stakeholder in what is gonna be the way of the future, yeah? I'm like, as far as I'm concerned, I'm on the wrong side of 50, yeah? And I'm investing in it. But I've lived the majority of my life already. So as a youth or a young person coming up, yeah? Become a stakeholder in crypto. You can buy it, you can put it down, forget about it, but eventually you're gonna need to be part of it. When you see how easy it is, and that opportunity, just like every opportunity that ever was, is not gonna be on the table forever. So you need to recognize opportunity. That's what everybody needs to do.
Enough respect.
Say that, man.
Enough respect.